Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Castellanos, and for my presentation today, I'm going to be speaking on the psychological historical figure of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, who was often called the father of psychoanalysis, he was born in 1856 in Freiburg, Austria. And he was born into a middle class Jewish family that had a lot of financial difficulties. But despite all that, he still excelled in academics and he showed an early interest in languages and sciences. He later attended the University of Vienna, and then he earned his medical degree in neurology. And then he began to study neurology as a neurologist. But then, after being influenced by historical figures like Jean Martin Charcot, uh, Freud then shifted his thinking over to psychology, and then he eventually founded the field of psychoanalysis. Um, and then the new approach of psychoanalysis, it's revolutionized mental health treatments, and that's because it emphasized the role of the unconscious mind in shaping your behavior and how you behave outside of or in your daily life. Freud introduced a range of groundbreaking ideas, including the ID, your ego, and superego, which describe the structure of the psyche, and his defense mechanism theories, like repression and denial, which are the explanations for how we cope with anxiety and conflict and our everyday struggles. Central to his work was his theory on dreams. That was his main thing that he was popular for. Um, this was explored heavily in his book that he wrote, which was called The Interpretation of Dreams. And he wrote that in 1900, the year 1900. And then Freud argued that his dreams are diagnosed, or not his dreams, that dreams are diagnosed, are disguised. And then Freud argued that dreams are disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. That's what he said, under quotes, disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes, um, that contain both manifest content and latent content, with manifest content being what we experience during the dream, what we see, hear, and feel, and then the latent content being the deeper connection, basically what the dream means, or how you can interpret it into your daily life. Um, for example, if you were to dream about um, flying around your city, that could represent a desire for freedom or escape, trying to escape your everyday life and fly away. Um, but also, another example could be dreaming about a house that could you could interpret that as your need for um, your need for um, security and your private life. Um, Freud identified mechanisms like condensation. That's when multiple ideas are merged into one symbol, and also displacement when emotions are redirected to a less threatening object. Um, that's to disguise the unconscious desires that we have. Also, Freud's influence extended from like way beyond psychology. He also laid the groundwork for modern therapy, and mostly the concept of talking therapy. That's obviously a very big cornerstone in our daily therapy that we use. Most of the therapy that we take in our daily life is just talking to a friend or talking to a therapist or a family member. or even just talking to yourself. And then beyond therapy, Freud's theories have inspired countless artists and writers and filmmakers. So many films have been based off of his work. The most popular movie is Inception. Um, that movie explores the different dream manipulations and um, all the different, I don't want to spoil it, but just how they can use the dreams to interpret and manipulate their lives. Also, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which delves into repressed emotions and the unconscious mind. They're both direct nods to Freud's concepts and his theories on dreams and the psychoanalysis. Um, Also, literature, books. There's been authors like Franz Kafka and James Joyce who like very similarly reflect Freud's theories and themes. Um, and in their books, they portray the complexity of our human desires and what we want and need in our lives. Even some TV shows like The Sopranos and Mad Men, um, popular TV shows like to integrate therapy and different psychoanalysis topics into their storytelling and how they portray the characters and how they make them seem real and connected, make you seem connected to the characters. And also, lastly, his Freud's work has met a lot of criticism, even though he's had a lot of influence on the world. Many of his theories, mostly the theories on sexuality and the Oedipus complex, they've been criticized heavily for lacking of evidence and not being testable. They are untestable, actually. And modern psychology has moved away from a lot of his ideas, but there's been a lot of his ideas that have come into fruition. And like I said earlier, many people are still influenced by them. And his exploration of the unconscious mind and the significance of your early childhood that he brought up, and your experiences during that childhood time, they've shaped how we understand our human behavior. Most of the time, when you talk about someone and their problems, you most of the time think of or bring up their childhood experiences and what they could have been, and that's all derived from Freud. Um, and yeah, today his legacy has endured through almost 200 years now, just through everything, through music, movies, TV shows, books, everything, our daily lives, how we talk to people, how we understand each other. So yeah, thank you.